What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, which the price tag might need to come down a little bit, as well as money, investing, the stock market, pretty much daily news and everything you need to know about. Speaking of that, the Dow Jones is actually up over 420 points as of today's recording, as of right now, as we've had the stock market has been down several days in a row. And it's actually probably a decent buying opportunity depending on your long-term horizons right now. Dow Jones up 420 points as of right now intraday. So we are seeing a little bit of a tick back up, but the debt limit ceiling is really the big concern on the horizons as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has big plans for this week that we'll get to here in a moment. There's also a new report that came out this week that many cities and states have spent no stimulus money from the American, I can't even believe this, from the American Rescue Plan, which is the third stimulus check package. They have spent no stimulus money yet. Yeah, I can't even believe this, guys. So remember that the third stimulus check package sent out billions and billions and billions of dollars to states, cities, and counties. And as of this new report, as of 48 hours ago, many cities and states have spent no money, none of their stimulus money yet. Can't make this stuff up. According to the Associated Press, as of this summer, a majority of large cities and states have yet to use any of the funding they received as part of the Biden administration's American Rescue Plan, the third stimulus package. More specifically, no initial spending was reported by over half of the states and 2/3 of the 90th largest cities, according to the Associated Press. After reviewing spending reports required by law, the Associated Press found that states had spent only 2.5% of the funds they initially received, and large cities spent 8.5% of the money. Wow. Like, what are they doing with the money? They're just doing nothing with it instead of helping out their people? The law was signed by President Biden in March, but some governors had already finalized their annual budgets by the time funds were released by the Treasury Department in May. Under law, governments have until 2024 to make plans for how to use the money and until 2026 to spend it. After that, any remaining funds will have to be returned to the federal government. Hopefully, we will see some more states send out stimulus checks like California is doing to up to 2 out of every 3 California residents, which is over 25 to 27 million California residents through the California Golden State Stimulus Check Program. $600 stimulus checks through round 1 and round 2, and $1,100 stimulus checks, an additional $500 if you have children, for a total of $1,100. The round 2 ones are still going out this week. In fact, there's an additional 1 million checks going out this week. So the round 2 California checks are still going out. They're going out in waves to fraud check them and to make sure that they're going out to legitimate people. So if you're waiting on round 2 California stimulus checks, they're still going out. They're going out in waves, and they're going to probably still be going out for some time. And considering that states, cities, and counties, we have seen county stimulus checks in the past. Also, there are stimulus checks going out to first responders and teachers in different areas of the countries, and different other types of stimulus checks like this. Florida and Texas and some other states are doing this as well. So there could be more programs like this in the future. I will keep you up to date as more programs like this roll out, because apparently 90% of this money or more is still available. They just have to decide to send it out. So hopefully we'll see more of this in the future, and I will keep you updated as they do it. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is setting up a vote tomorrow on the debt limit ceiling. So this is a very important vote. So the question is, will the Republicans come along and let the Democrats pass this vote? Check this out. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat from New York, will try again on Wednesday to advance a debt ceiling suspension bill amid an entrenched stalemate over the nation's borrowing limit. Schumer on Monday night teed up a vote for Wednesday night where he will need 60 votes to break a filibuster and move forward with suspending the debt ceiling through December 2022. There's another option here that I will get to in a moment. That will require 10 Republicans to break the ranks in a 50-50 Senate, something that is exceedingly unlikely. Quote, before the end of this week, the Senate must get a bill to the president's desk to address the acute crisis of the debt limit, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said from the floor on Monday night. Quote, even a near miss can have dramatic consequences. Every single day we delay taking action, we increase the chances of doing irreversible damage to our global financial system, our economic recovery, and trust in our country's ability to pay its debt. There is another way that the Republicans can allow the Democrats to pass the debt limit ceiling in the Senate without any Republican votes, which is called the unanimous consent. The Democrats tried to vote this last week. I don't remember what day it was. It was like on Thursday or Friday or something like that. Ironically or coincidentally, the reverse happened many, many years ago. I think it was back in 2006. You could look up the date. It's irrelevant. But the reverse happened way back in the day, like 15 years ago. The Republicans were in control of the Senate, and the Democrats let the Republicans raise the debt limit ceiling on their own with a unanimous consent vote. So what they can do is the Republicans can just basically say, okay, we unanimously consent that we will allow the Democrats to raise the debt limit ceiling. Remember, they have to raise the debt limit ceiling. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Even Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans in the Senate, says they have to raise the debt limit ceiling. It's been done year after year. They raised it 3 times during former President Donald Trump's presidency. It's been raised 60 times in the last 80 years. They have to do it, or else our country will default. There's no way around it. They have to do it. They have to do it just to pay the debt, just to pay the interest on our debt. Okay. So what the Republicans can do if they just don't want to be a part of the voting for whatever reasons, right, is they can just say, okay, we will grant you unanimous consent so that we won't filibuster it. So it won't require 60 votes. It will only require 50 to 51 votes. So simply by the Republicans just allowing them to do that, then the Democrats can pass the vote with just 50 to 51 votes. Now, the Republicans blocked that last week, but they can allow it this week. At some point, they're going to have to do something like this, or else we're going to default. I mean, we're now 13 days away from defaulting, and they have to do it before the 13th day, so we're really 12 days or less away. And I don't think we can wait until the last day, so we're really 10 or 11 days away. I don't even think they want to wait till that long. So we're really like 7 to 10 days away. And the closer we get, the more anxious and the more worried everybody becomes, our entire country. And remember, we've seen both now the President Biden say Social Security payments could be at risk, child tax credit payments could be at risk. I had that in one of the last videos or two on my channel. If you've been watching every videos, you've seen President Biden himself say Social Security payments could be at risk. Payments to servicemen, the military could be at risk. Literally any type of money that comes from the government could be at risk. So it's weird because Social Security has its own fund, but when we're talking about a government default, we really don't know what will happen because it's never happened before. So that's the problem here, is that when we talk about payment to servicemen, military, firefighters, policemen, child tax credit payments, the stock market, um, everything is at risk. Everything is risk, and the government can't print any more money past the debt limit ceiling until they basically pass a bill allowing the government to do that. And they have to do it just to pay the interest on all the debt limits. There's no way around it. Okay, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, anything, we have to do this. Like I said, we did it 3 times in the last 4 years. They have to do it every 1 to 2 years, or they have to just get rid of the debt limit, which is probably honestly the best option. At some point, they're going to probably need to do that. Uh, to have to go through this crisis all the time, put all these people at worry, and remember that every bill for spending has to go through Congress anyways. So everything needs to be approved by Congress once, and then to have this other catastrophic issue of the debt limit that could literally put our country into default. We're the only country in the world to do it this way. Should absolutely not be done. And we've had both Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen and both Republicans and Democrats in the past and currently right now. There's not really any Republicans right now saying it because, well, it's a political game of Republicans versus Democrats. And of course, all the Republicans right now are against the Democrats. All the Democrats are against the Republicans. And I mean, if you've been paying attention, that's kind of how it always is, right? So, but in the past, Republicans have even said we should get rid of the debt limit ceiling because it's just this artificial number that could cause catastrophic pain for our country, for us as Americans, for our entire economic system. The stock market, there's a lot that has to do with the stock market. We have 401ks in there, which is average everyday Americans, pensions, people's money, jobs are dependent on that. Companies are dependent on that. I mean, a lot is dependent on this artificial number, the debt limit ceiling, which they literally can just get rid of by a simple vote. And it's up for debate whether the Democrats can just get rid of it on their own. From what I've read is that, yes, the Democrats can just simply get rid of it on their own, but they'd have to do that through the reconciliation process. It's unlikely the Republicans would let them get rid of it through unanimous consent because the Republicans wouldn't agree to that. But they could do that through the reconciliation process. But again, they're probably not going to be able to get that done here within the next few days. But that does lead us to the stimulus package in the House. Chuck Schumer, well, here, check this out. Chuck Schumer wants a deal on the details of the spending package within a matter of days. Chuck Schumer wants the deal for the $3.5 trillion stimulus package on his desk this week. So he's demanding a deal between the House Democrats and the Senate Democrats this week to be put on his desk. So President Biden is also meeting with the Democrats this week and Senator Joe Manchin this week, as well as Senator Bernie Sanders. And the tensions with Senator Joe Manchin and Bernie Sanders are really starting to escalate, especially Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema. If you've seen, they've recently been ambushed, and it's really not a good time to be Senator Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema. They're facing a lot of backlash from their own party. Both of their approval ratings, Joe Manchin's and Kyrsten Sinema's, are at all-time lows or near all-time lows, and yeah, it's it's not really a popular time to be Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on that. How do you think they're doing right now? It's ironic that the popularity for the other party, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema are Democrats. The popularity among them from Republicans is raising. So the popularity for Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema among Republican voters is raising, even though Republican voters would never vote for them because they're Republicans. They would vote for their own Republican party, is saying that they approve of them. It's ironic. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. But Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, do you think they'll come along? Do you think that Joe Manchin will come off his $1.5 trillion price tag? The number has been floated around. There's this Bernie Sanders, Senator Bernie Sanders calls it a rumor, or yeah, I guess he said a rumor in that interview that I played for you in the last video or two, that President Biden said around $2 trillion, and Senator Bernie Sanders says, "Nah, that's a rumor. He doesn't believe that the president said that. That he'd be willing to come down to around $2 trillion." So the question is that did the president say that, and are they willing to come down from $3.5 trillion to $2 trillion? That might be what they need to do to get Joe Manchin on board. Because remember, they need Joe Manchin on board. They need every single vote. And without Joe Manchin, they can't pass the bill. And Kirsten Sinema. They need every single Democratic senator, because remember, there's not a single Republican that's going to vote for this next stimulus package. And there's not a single Republican that voted for the third stimulus check package as well. So a lot of people forget that, or if they don't watch this show, if you ask an average everyday person on the street that maybe doesn't know anything about stimulus or anything about politics, uh, they have no idea that Republicans didn't vote for the $1,400 third stimulus check. So it's kind of weird. So especially if you ask maybe like a Republican that doesn't follow stimulus or anything like that, they wouldn't know that a Republican didn't vote for the $1,400 third stimulus check. And it's weird because after the third stimulus check package passed, there were some Republicans that went back and kind of claimed credit for some of the $1,400 stimulus checks, and some of the Democrats were bashing them. And Mitch McConnell actually kind of claimed some credit, but then he kind of backtracked on it and said, well, yeah, some of this money is really good, especially from Kentucky, but I didn't vote for it. So yeah, there's some give and take in there. But remember, not a single Republican is expected to vote for this next stimulus package as well. Um, but really, the big question is, are they going to be able to pass it? Are they going to be able to pass it? And remember that if they don't pass it, those monthly stimulus checks or those child tax credit, those monthly checks, $250 to $300 per month that are going out to 65 million children, those are going to stop at the end of this year. So that December monthly payment is going to be that last payment. You are going to get the first 6 months of the year, the January through June payments on your tax return. So you're going to get a 6-month one lump sum on your tax returns for 2021. But the monthly payments will not continue if they can't pass this package. So monthly checks for children are expected to be in this next package, the child tax credits. They want to extend that until 2025, which would be, well, 2022, 23, 24, and 25. That would be 4 more years. But if they have to significantly cut this package, they may have to cut that down to 3 more years, 2 more years, or 1 more year. And they're talking about potentially cutting the income thresholds on it, including a job requirement on it, an earned income requirement on it, and all sorts of different things. And Joe Manchin has had a lot to do with that as well. Now, remember, they could include a fourth stimulus check on top of the child tax credits for adults and not the children for as low as $100 billion. For as low as $100 billion for low and middle income Americans without children, because children would already be taken care of. And $100 billion, even on a $2 billion price tag for the package on the low end of only $2 trillion, only $2 trillion. That would only be 5% of the total package. So that's definitely still a consideration that could be added in. Remember that the second stimulus check package, or the second stimulus check in the second stimulus check package, was added in at the very last moment. And that bill was less than $1 trillion. And they still found a way to add in a second stimulus check in there. Now, remember that there are expected to be monthly stimulus checks for children, the child tax credits, but they could still add in a fourth stimulus check on top of that, in addition to all the other things, the Medicare benefits, Medicare 2.0, they call it, hearing, dental, vision, hearing aids, dentures, and lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60 for seniors. That's a huge thing for seniors. They say like over 75% of seniors don't have those benefits. And colleges, free college, 2 years of free community college, an adult tax credit for people making under $50,000, and all the other benefits that we're probably going to see. There's going to be a whole bunch of different things in this package. Remember that package is probably going to be thousands and thousands of pages. So there's all sorts of different potential possibilities. They're talking about a maybe $1,000 stimulus debit card for seniors, for Medicare benefits as well. All sorts of different things that they can include, even up until the last minute. And when they go to pass this package, a lot of things are always added in at the last minute, or at least compared to what they did in the second stimulus check package and the third stimulus check package. So don't miss any videos at this point. I will keep you up to date. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. You literally just click subscribe down below. And after subscribing, you can click the bell icon to get notifications when we go live, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also click the share button down below to share this video with your friends and family so they know what's going on with this next stimulus package. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this is a big video I did about Social Security increases. There's 2 different Social Security potential increases coming out as well also. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video.